Welcome back to Saturday with Mammie K. Today we are having crab bisque for Mammie K, making that from scratch, from the crab on up. That should be good. We will have a few little garnishes with it. I have already basically made the soup base. All we have to do is make our roux, add our deglaze with our soup base, and then add our cream, and we're pretty much ready to go. And I imagine you're getting hungry by now.
I am hungry.
All right, good.
Yes.
Well, okay, and of course, as always, we will have Mammie K's prediction, Packernation prognosticator.
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Telling us exactly what's going to happen on Sunday afternoon with Jordan Love
Oh, yes.
leading the Green Bay Packers this time. So here we go. Let's do it. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I have already cooked the crabs, and then we just simmered all the shells, all the goodness out of it. We made a mirepoix, which is just a mixture of just a dice of carrots, onions, and celery, base for virtually any soup. Very traditional. Simmered this all out, put some spices in and whatnot, and this is all ready to go. So what we need to do now, because we want to thicken this bisque, we want to be able to float the crab on top if we can, and our garnishes, of course, which we're going to do a nice little garnish for you today. And all we need to do to thicken it is we need equal parts of butter and flour. We'll get our pot going. It does not need to be super hot.
Soup is good food, Grady.
I don't know, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Okay, we've got our roux all cooked so that it isn't tasting like raw flour, and we are ready to go ahead and pour in that base for the bisque. And we will bring the temperature up, we'll bring it back to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it. We're going to warm, not cook. I've already cooked the crab meat. The last thing we want to do is overcook that. I've got a little trick that I'm going to try to warm that back up.
Yep.
We'll simmer it until the crab meat is warm. That'll be all ready to go, and then we'll just have to add our cream and then season it to taste, and we'll be ready to put this thing together and eat. Does that sound good? All right. Okay, our soup is now simmering, the soup base anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little trivet here, and I've got a stainless steel bowl wrapped in foil with the crab meat in it. We're just going to let that steam and warm up. It'll get warm in the soup too, but we don't want it as cold as it is right now. We're going to simmer this for just a few minutes, then we'll be ready to add our cream, put together our garnishes. I got a few little special garnishes we want to put on to make it look all pretty and add some vitamins and minerals to it. And we'll be back as soon as this is ready to go. Okay, so I took my little saucepan that I'm going to use for our garnishes, and I actually covered up our crab meat to help it warm up. That is now warm and ready to go. We're going to take that off, set it down here, and this soup
smells good.
Yeah, the whole house smells pretty good right now. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
We're going to add about the recipe I read calls for half a cup, but I'm just going to eyeball it, and then we're just going to do this part to taste. I need to turn the flame off, though. I don't want that to curdle. I don't want it to get too hot. And looks like we did okay.
Yep. Stirring and stirring.
So we'll bring that just up to where there's vapor coming off the surface, which is about 165 degrees. And then we're just going to let it kind of thicken down with that roux until it's the consistency we want, and we'll be good to go. In the meantime, while this is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and put some garnishes together. We've got one that's actually sauteed. We'll get that taken care of while this soup finishes up. Okay, now that our soup is simmering, our bisque is simmering and thickening up, we're just waiting on that. And in the meantime, I want to make a garnish that I like to use. I make this with eggs for breakfast oftentimes, but I'm just going to saute up some little tomatoes. So what we're going to do with this is just cut a little X in each of those. These tomatoes are going to blow up on us otherwise, and we'll use these as a garnish today, more for color than anything else, but there is a little tomato paste in the bisque, so this will work out really quite well, I think. So just cut an X in each of those. And again, this is a favorite of mine with eggs in the morning, but it should work pretty well with our bisque. All right, so we'll just do that. All I got to do is toss those in the pan. We're just going to char them a little bit. I think I'll need these last two as well. I don't think we need all these, but hey, it's not going to hurt. And that's very simple. If you got a hot pan that you've just made your eggs on, this is a nice little garnish for that. And once these are done, we will, well actually as these are cooking, what I'm going to do is chop up my little herb garnish that I'm going to make. And that's just some diced green onion, or I'm sorry, just minced green onion. A little bit of parsley. And I'm taking just a few of these celery leaves and adding that as well, just for a little color contrast. You can add whatever you want. And I think I'll also get, I believe I've got some tarragon here. We'll add a little bit of tarragon as well, fresh tarragon. Really, really wonderful with seafood dishes, and I think that'll work out just quite well, but not quite as much as the rest. So just dice that up. And I probably actually will mince this, and so we can kind of control how much we have in our soup, because you don't want it to overpower anything. And get a little char on those tomatoes. It looks really nice. And I can just rock chop this, just leave the tip of the knife on the board. Once I've got everything kind of the way down to where I can manage it. And this will make a nice little herb blend. Just a coarse chop on that. Should be good. And with that, I think we are ready. As soon as our bisque is ready, we're ready to go ahead and plate this up and put it together and let Mammie K eat. So our bisque is done. The house smells delish. Our garnishes are ready. Mammie K, you ready to set the table?
Yes, I am.
You got to work for your food.
I know it.
Okay, so we put the bulk of our crab meat directly into the soup to make sure it was warm, but I did reserve aside a few big chunks for you for a garnish. The rule of thumb with the meat in your soup is it should never be bigger than the spoon.
Oh.
These are going to break that rule, but that's for a garnish, so we'll let you mow down on those big pieces of meat, okay? So we just need to get a nice big scoop of this in there. Boy, that is just loaded with crab meat.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful, 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 hopefully, without spilling too much.
Oh, good.
Goes in. Then we can garnish for a little color, a little extra flavor. We can see that garnish floating right on top the way we like it. That means the soup is thick as it should be. These little blackened tomato, I'm not sure if those will float or not, but they will. They look good. If you turn them right now, they look like the crab's eyes are looking right at you. So we'll set one like that. A little bit of, first I want to do just a touch of smoked paprika. Just going to give you a little aroma and color more than anything. Our little herb blend that we did, that's going to add some freshness to it as well. And finally, we will do just a little dollop of sour cream because we're trying to do this one up right for you there, Mom.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And that's going to add a really nice flavor and texture as well. If I can get it shaped, it's a little loose, but that's okay. We'll
That's all right.
Like so.
Good. Ooh,
Serve it with a few crackers. We'll get you a little vegetable blend as well. We've got some veggies to go with it, and I think we're ready to eat. Are you?
I think so, yes.
Okay, Mom, what everybody wants to hear, the reason people watch the show, it's time for your prediction. What do you got? Packers against the Kansas City Chiefs with Jordan Love at the helm.
It's going to be a challenging game. Really challenging because of the situation with Rodgers and other injuries. So my prediction is 31-21 Green Bay Packers.
31-21 Green Bay. Okay, so they're going to break 30. Jordan Love.
I'm thinking really positive that this is the game that we should really go out and really show them.
All right. Well, hopefully that's what happens, because I would take that score any day of the week. All right, let me know what you think of the soup. I'm going to find out what I think too, because I've tasted it, but I haven't tasted it all put together.
Smelling it, it's just. Mmm. Good, good, good. Nice flavor. I have never had crab bisque.
It's the first time for everything. It's one of my favorites.
Is it?
Yep. And what you guys might not know is Mom had to find out the hard way, because when I was younger, we went to Four Corners one time, which was a restaurant, high-end restaurant for us back then.
Yes.
And I had shrimp for the first time, like a full order of shrimp myself. Come to find out I had a shellfish allergy, so ended up with hives.
Yes.
It was not a comfortable night. And then
took you into emergency.
Did you?
Yes.
I didn't really remember that part.
You were really itching. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah. So for years I couldn't eat this.
Yeah.
But then later on I apparently outgrew it. So it's one of my favorites. I was very sad to not be able to eat my shrimp, which was a favorite of mine. And very happy to get over it. So.
Well, that's good. That's good.
All right, folks. So that's going to do it for us today. We're going to finish our soup, get Mammie K back home.
Big win pack.
And Mammie K found an apartment, so we're all ready to move her in.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week on Saturday with Mammie K.
Packernation worldwide.
All set.